I don't know who I am, but my lungs are burning and my heart is screaming predator. I just realized something. I know how to kill a man with a pen. Where did that come from? Who did I used to? And more importantly, what is coming to get me? That was Jason Bourne. I know, a better looking version of Jason Bourne. But anyways, he just discovered that he's a lethal weapon, a trained assassin with a past of terrible violence that he can't remember. And as his memory is slowly starting to return, he faces a terrifying question. Does our past define us? Many people say that we shouldn't be living in the past, that we have to be in the present moment, but that raises several problems. First of all, the past actually exists. It did happen, and it's engraved in our bodies and all of our world. And second of all, if we erase our past, wouldn't we be erasing our identity and how we came to be? And if we can't erase the past, is it destined to keep hurting us again and again and again? So today let's explore the idea of letting go of the past with the help of Jason Bourne and Memento. In order to understand the dangers of the past, let's first take a look at Christopher Nolan's Memento. In this movie, the main character, Leonard, suffers of a condition where he can't build any new memories. And the last thing that he remembers is that his wife was murdered. So he lives to avenge this event. And he does that through investigating with Polaroids, notes that he leaves to himself, and tattoos. The movie is structured in reverse, so we as an audience are, in Leonard's shoes, desperate to understand the present, and for that we are forced to investigate the past. And we think that we're watching a movie which is a thriller about making justice. But in the final twist, and spoiler alert here, we realize that Leonard is not a victim of memory loss. He's a curator of it. Because through burning Polaroids and manipulating his notes, he keeps alive this sorrow that he has, even though he already killed his wife's murderer. But he thinks that without this mission, his life has no meaning. He has created this identity for himself that is the only thing he is, and that's why he needs to keep alive the sorrow and the hurt. In Buddhism, we call that the two arrows. The first arrow is the one that is thrown at you by someone else, is the actual event, in Leonard's case, his wife's murder. And the second arrow is the one that you shoot to yourself when you keep reliving the moment and thinking about it again and again and again. Like when you say, why did this happen to me? Oh, I am so unlucky. Or this always happens to me, and you keep going there. Leonard is the master of the second arrow because he is going to keep doing this by erasing the fact that he already avenged his wife's murder.
This scar, I got in a knife fight in Zurich. And the expert in my head remembers exactly how it was. I remember the feel of the steel, the cold, the blood, the face of the man who made it. But if I stay in that memory, that would be like shooting myself with the second arrow. If tonight I'm in another fight, I can't be thinking about this scar. What if it happens again? Because I'm that right moment. Because I would be in the last fight, not in this one. Bruce Lee used to say, be like water. Water doesn't remember the last rock that it hit. It just hits the next one and reacts to it. If I want to survive, that's what I have to do. I have to be the beginner.
What he just said is the core of the concept of the beginner's mind. There's a saying that goes, in the beginner's mind, there are many options. In the expert's mind, there are few. So in the case of Jason Bourne, the expert's mind look at the situation and he thinks, okay, I know what is happening. I know what is going to happen. This always happens to me. I am the assassin, and I know how this is going to go. The expert's mind has no choices left, but the beginner's does. And the reason why we're terrified of the beginner's mind is because we're afraid of the empty space. Without our stories, without our labels, we think that we are empty, that we are nothing. But that's not actually true. Okay, think about it this way. Imagine that you are seated rowing on a boat. The way it works is your back is facing forward and you are looking backwards with your hands on the blades. And you are literally looking at the past, at the waters that you were in, the banks that you already passed. But your hands are on the water right now. The resistance of the water, the strength in your arms, the rhythm of the movement, that is the present moment, that is here and now. That's just the way it works. The past is literally in your field of view. But the second arrow would be stop rowing and just keep staring at the waters that you already were in and wishing it had been different, that the banks had been different, or that you probably shouldn't have hit a rock earlier or something like that. Because that's the way it is. The past should be visible. You can't unsee it. But if you stop moving, then you stop going forward. That's not a flaw. That's the way it is supposed to be. You can look at the past, but that's not what should dictate what you're doing right now.
I can change that I was an assassin. I can erase all the people that I killed. That's the weight I have to carry. But I realized that if I live in fear, that's just another way of being controlled by transference. The fear is the memory that hasn't happened yet. The note says run, and the expert in my head says that that means someone's chasing me. But the beginner says, what if I'm just late for breakfast?
The Jason Bourne that you know, the one from the movie with the ugly actor, he makes this decision when he says at the end of the movie, I don't want to keep doing this.
I don't want to do this anymore. Jason Bourne is dead. You hear me? He drowned 2 weeks ago. You're gonna go tell him that Jason Bourne is dead, you understand?
In the case of Jason Bourne, his past is literally chasing him, but he decides to change that by making his own choices. You see, you don't lose your identity when you stop living in the past. What you gain is freedom. You are not the person who suffered in the past. You are the person who is here now and who carries the wisdom of that suffering.
The past is over. The future hasn't happened yet. So all I have to do is make my choice right now. And right now, for the first time, I don't need to know where I've been to know where I'm going.
Thank you very much for watching this video. It was a little bit different than the past ones. It was very fun to do. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this and leave me a comment. Tell me what is the thing from the past that you want to let go of. See you next time.